Okay, let's just get right into it. If you're an SMB importer or an Amazon FBA seller, you already know that sourcing your products, that's really just half the battle. The actual test is getting those products across the globe without those crazy international shipping complexities just completely eating your profit margins. So today, we're building the ultimate landed cost breakdown walkthrough. We are going to totally demystify your freight quote. In this explainer, we'll master the logistics from China to the US. We're talking sea freight, consolidation, duties, customs, delivery costs, the whole shebang. By the end of this, you'll be able to confidently pick the absolute right freight forwarder for your timeline and, most importantly, your budget. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive into this. We've got 5 distinct steps to walk through today to turn all that logistics overwhelm into a real mastered strategy. We'll hit the shipping landscape, choosing your shipping method, decoding freight costs, navigating customs and compliance, and finally, e-commerce and specialized cargo. All right, starting off with Section 1, the international shipping landscape. So, what are the hidden costs? I mean, this is the core anxiety that keeps most new importers up at night, right? When you're calculating your true landed cost, and by that I mean the absolute total price of a product once it literally hits your buyer's door, you really have to factor in everything. It's like a giant puzzle of moving parts. Honestly, importers usually have a checklist of like 100 different questions. Who pays the forklift driver at the destination warehouse? Or what if customs pulls your box for a random x-ray exam? How much does it cost to just hold a container at the port for an extra 3 days? That initial sticker price you get from your supplier? Yeah, that's almost never the final number. And if you aren't calculating the entire journey, your assumed profit margin can just vanish before the cargo even leaves Asia. And when you don't really know the landscape, you're going to hit some major roadblocks that can absolutely shatter your budget. We see importers constantly making these 6 common mistakes that literally cost them thousands of dollars. First off, there's the terrifying reality of scammers and freight fraud. We're talking illegitimate agents who might literally hold your bill of lading hostage until you pay these crazy ransom fees you never agreed to. And then you have macro events to deal with. Take the Lunar New Year, for example. If you haven't booked your containers weeks in advance of the holiday, the entire country's supply chain basically freezes. Your inventory just gets stranded exactly when you need it, which means stockouts and lost rankings on platforms like Amazon. This right here is exactly why choosing the right, thoroughly vetted freight forwarder is absolutely critical to your business's survival. Moving right along to step 2, choosing your shipping method. This is your first major physical decision. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how drastically your chosen method changes your bottom line. We're basically looking at air cargo versus ocean freight. Say you have an absolute emergency, like you need inventory tomorrow because a TikTok video went viral and you're suddenly stocked out. Air cargo is for sure your fastest route. You can get goods from Shenzhen to LA in just a few days. But you're going to pay a massive premium for that, sometimes 5 to 10 times the cost of the ocean route, which pretty much obliterates your per unit profit. On the flip side, ocean freight is the cost-effective workhorse of global trade. Sure, it takes longer, usually about 30 to 40 days door to door, but looking ahead to 2026, it is by far the most economical way to move bulk commercial cargo from China to the US. So within ocean freight, your first main option is FCL, or full container load. It's exactly what it sounds like. You are reserving an entire 20-foot or 40-foot box exclusively for your goods. If you're really scaling up, FCL is incredibly efficient. Because you aren't splitting that space with anybody else, FCL almost always gives you the best per unit shipping economics, which brings your total landed cost way, way down. To put that into perspective, a 40-foot high-cube container holds a massive amount of volume, and once it gets sealed at the factory in China, it's not getting opened again until it's backed up right to your destination loading dock. But hey, what if you're a smaller SMB importer and you only have, say, 5 pallets? You obviously don't have enough product to fill a whole container. Well, that's where LCL, or less than container load, comes into play. Your freight forwarder essentially consolidates your pallets with other buyers' shipments into one shared container. This is great because it keeps your upfront freight costs strictly tied to the exact volume you're using. However, I gotta warn you, it does add a layer of financial and logistical complexity. Because your freight is consolidated, it has to be unpacked at a container freight station, or a CFS, once it hits the destination port. And this deconsolidation process, it introduces a very specific set of destination port fees that you absolutely must factor into your landed cost breakdown. If you don't, your profit margins will definitely take an unexpected hit when your goods arrive. All right, let's smoothly transition into Section 3, decoding freight costs. Time to tackle that alphabet soup. So let's make sense of these shipping terms. These are Incoterms, and they dictate exactly who pays for what and who actually holds the risk at every single stage of the journey. You've got FOB, free on board, and CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. These are your traditional terms where responsibilities are kind of split between you and your Chinese supplier. But listen, here is a massive warning for your landed cost calculations. CIF shipping often hides up to 10 different costs at the destination port. Your supplier pays to get the boat to LA, but then suddenly you are getting hit with destination terminal handling charges, document fees, port security fees, and they can completely wreck your margins. On the other hand, we have DDP, Delivered Duty Paid. With DDP, your forwarder quotes you one single price that handles the whole shebang, all the costs, the customs duties, the risks, right up to your final door. For easy, predictable landed costs, DDP is literally an importer's best friend. And here's the actual geographical journey you're paying for when you break down that quote. First, it starts at these massive origin hubs, places like Shenzhen, Shanghai, Ningbo, Qingdao, or Tianjin. Next is the actual ocean or air transit, straight across the Pacific. Then, boom, arrival at the U.S. destination port like New York or Long Beach. But you know, the journey doesn't end there, and neither do the costs. That final door-to-door delivery via trucking, which we often call drayage, can be notoriously expensive if it isn't quoted up front. Think about it. If there's a chassis shortage at the port or a huge backlog of trucks, your drayage costs can absolutely spike. Top-tier logistics partners like AEB Logistics will seamlessly connect every single one of these dots for you, wrapping all that complex drayage routing right into your initial estimate. Section 4. Navigating Customs and Compliance. So, the crucial point is, this is the exact phase where most inexperienced importers get completely stuck. U.S. Customs. You see, the Harmonized Tariff Schedule, or HTS code, is the absolute linchpin of your entire import strategy. Every single commercial item imported into the U.S. has to be classified under this 10-digit system. And why does this matter so much for your landed cost? Because this specific code determines exactly what percentage of import duties you're going to owe the U.S. government. To put that into perspective, importing a plain cotton t-shirt versus a synthetic performance t-shirt might trigger completely different duty rates. We're talking jumping from 16% to over 30%. If you get this code wrong, you aren't just looking at an inaccurate landed cost projection. You're risking severe customs delays, legal compliance issues, and honestly, some pretty heavy retroactive fines. Essential customs strategies are really what separate the highly profitable import businesses from the total logistical nightmares. Just imagine having a container of time-sensitive, seasonal inventory held up at the border for 3 weeks simply because of one missing commercial invoice or, a lacking FDA certificate. When that happens, your cargo gets moved to a general order warehouse, and you start racking up demurrage and storage fees that can easily exceed hundreds of dollars a single day. You simply cannot guess your way through U.S. Customs. This is why leaning on a reliable shipping agent who offers expert, built-in customs brokerage is absolutely mandatory. They make sure your paperwork is completely flawless before the ship even leaves China.
And that brings us to our final section, e-commerce and specialized cargo. Let's look at how these concepts apply to specific businesses.
Now, if you are an Amazon FBA seller, this step-by-step breakdown is your lifeline. Your supply chain isn't just about getting products to the US, it's about getting them seamlessly into Amazon's highly regulated system. A specialized forwarder will handle the supplier pickup in China, the main ocean freight forwarding, the customs brokerage, and then, this is the big one, the final delivery directly into an Amazon FBA warehouse. They make sure your cargo is 100% compliant with Amazon's famously strict receiving guidelines. We're talking down to the exact 48 by 40 inch pallet dimensions, the maximum carton weight limits, and making sure those specific FNSKU barcode labels are on every single box so you don't get hit with Amazon's nasty non-compliance fees. And this brilliantly illustrates that top-tier forwarders don't just move standard cardboard boxes full of consumer goods. They execute complex, end-to-end logistics for heavy industrial machinery, too. Things like CNC machines, laser cutters, mini excavators, commercial woodworking machinery, and heavy exercise equipment. These items require highly specialized handling. You can't exactly toss a mini excavator onto a standard delivery truck, right? You need flatbed trucks, specialized rigging, maybe even cranes at the final delivery site. All of those are factors that will radically alter your final landed cost and definitely require customized expert quotes. So how is all this managed so efficiently today without leaving you totally in the dark? Well, it's a real game changer. AI and global logistics, combined with live tracking. Forwarders like AEB Logistics are using this tech to guarantee accurate, transparent shipping quotes right from the get-go. No more guessing, no more blind spots. By utilizing target pricing algorithms and real-time GPS tracking right on your containers, you get total visibility into your supply chain. You know exactly what your landed costs will be down to the penny, and you know exactly where your cargo is at any given second.
It all starts with taking that first informed step. You can reach out and get a free quote from logistics experts today so you can finally see an accurate breakdown of your true landed costs. Honestly, stop guessing what your profit margins are going to be and start demanding transparency. And hey, once you establish a successful, smooth supply chain, many of these top forwarders even have referral programs where you can earn rewards just for bringing other businesses on board.
To wrap things up, I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Are your current shipping terms quietly eating away at your profit margins? Think about it. Are hidden CIF fees at the destination port, poorly classified HTS codes triggering higher taxes, or maybe just inefficient LCL routing quietly draining your budget without even realizing it? Take a hard, analytical look at your landed costs today. It might just be time to seek out a transparent, tech-driven freight partner to finally master your supply chain. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we will definitely catch you in the next one.